Then I realized that by like the second page, they don't call the cat a cat anymore. They call it a pussy.
Like, these are just going to be like clips, but maybe we can talk about the idea of shorts. So you can go.
Okay, so we kind of had this idea because, busy schedules, more Donavan than myself. And plus, knowing our audience having ADHD and short attention spans, much like us, it's nice to have a little bite-sized, easily digestible stuff that you can listen to and just have a little laugh and perhaps get some keen info. So we've decided to kind of try doing some mini podcasts so we can be more regular with putting them out on a weekly basis, because I know you all want to hear from us so much. And then we're gonna try and do that, and then do kind of a bigger one once a month.
And these are probably good because some stuff might not fit into the theme of the podcast.
Oh, think of it as a little collaboration we're doing together, but posting at the same time. Again, we don't know really what we're doing, and we haven't scripted any of this, so we're just...
Which is the good thing.
That's the fun part.
When it's scripted, it's not going to go well.
And this has to do with looking back and identifying interactions with people that obviously had ADHD and not necessarily being aware of it at the time. So in this particular instance, it was a kid. My mom was teaching grade 3. She had done this week where she was having, she kind of had like this reading week. It wasn't like official. It was just something she did with her class where she had a guest speaker come in and read their favorite book as a child. And one of my favorite books was this book, old school book that my Oma had and would read to me all the time, called That Lazy Cat, with Farmer Fullbarn. Farmer Fullbarn had this lazy cat on his Fullbarn, and the lazy cat did nothing. So my mom says, well, I actually have Oma's copy. Would you come in sometime this week and read to the kids? And I was like, oh, for sure. So I get there and they're all kind of doing their thing. I'm waiting, and meanwhile I'm flipping through the book. I was like, oh, I should probably refamiliarize myself with this, because I was in my 20s at the time, and I hadn't read it since I was 5 or had it read to me. Then I realized that by like the second page, they don't call the cat a cat anymore. They call it a pussy. So I'm like, shit, I can't read this to these kids. So I said to my mom, I'm like, after she's done being like, oh, yeah, my daughter's going to come read to you. And then she comes over, and I was like, no, I can't read this to them. Like, it says pussy. My mom says, well, just say cat instead of pussy. They won't know the difference. So, like in elementary school, the kids are all sitting on the carpet, and I'm sitting on this chair that's too tiny for me and holding this book and reading it to them. And then this one kid, who I now understand was obviously very ADHD, was like, we want to see the pictures. And he's like yelling it from the back. And I was like, oh, okay. So now I'm like, okay, well, I'll show them the pictures and use my thumb to cover up where it says pussy instead of cat, and continue using cat instead of pussy while I read it. So I'm reading, and I get to and then that cat, and then same kid in the back screams. I mean, he must have had eyes like like nobody's business, because he was like, that doesn't say cat. That says pussy. So I was like, well, whatever. Yeah, that's another term for cat. And we flipped and so then I'd keep saying cat, and he'd keep going, pussy, every time I said cat. And then all the kids started chanting pussy every time I said cat instead of pussy. It was, and my mom wasn't even in the room. I think she probably took the opportunity to go get a coffee or something. And now I have like a 20-something like 7-year-olds chanting pussy at me while I'm reading them a childhood book. Anywho. It was, I just kept thinking, I told my mom, I was like, you're going to have parents calling.